Hey, what is going on, you guys? My name is SubZeroExtabyte and I am shooting right back at you with another video, and today we are doing something rather special. Lately I have been wanting to go out and relive a little bit of my youth. You know, just go around and doing some really nostalgic stuff. So that got me thinking, what is really nostalgic and what could I do that is really nostalgic? And you know that you cannot just go and do something nostalgic to make something actually feel nostalgic. So you might know this, but to make something feel nostalgic you just have got to do something, and the feeling will come whenever it is there. So I thought that today I am going to be pursuing that feeling of nostalgia, and I mean, I really love the feeling of nostalgia just because it makes me feel at home, and it gives me a little throwback to my childhood and stuff. So I am just going to go ahead and do whatever it takes to get that nostalgic feeling back into my veins. And the first thing that we are going to be doing is going to the movies, because that is what me and my parents used to do when I was younger. So the first thing that I'm going to do to find that feeling of nostalgia is just to go ahead and go to the movie theater. So something other than the movies that would make me feel all nostalgic is just to go ahead and play a lot of arcade games. And now, since Roblox does not really have any kind of real arcade games, we are just going to go ahead and play the arcade game mode. So this will be shooting us into a lot of different game modes, and maybe one or maybe some of them will just give me that authentic feeling of nostalgia. At least that is what I am hoping for right now. Otherwise I am just going to get bamboozled probably, and I will not get that feeling of nostalgia, and I will probably just end up crying in bed all night. Or maybe I will not. It is still a little bit of a surprise for me right now. Who knows? Maybe I will just start crying whenever I get that feeling of nostalgia, because it will give me that feeling of having a little throwback moment, or just an actual feeling of being back into my childhood, which would be amazing, to be honest, because I loved that time really. Now you might be thinking, well, SubZeroExtabyte, why do you want to go to the movies, or in this case watch random movies, to go ahead and feel nostalgic again? Well, that is actually a pretty long story, but to make it a little short for you guys, I just wanted to make something really cool for you guys, as in a video, and I just wanted this video to kind of hit home, so that you can watch this and it will make you appreciate your childhood and all of that, or just your youth in general, to be honest. And then I was thinking about the things that made me enjoy and love my childhood, and that was mostly just playing around in the summer, having those late nights where you had to sprint back home because the street lights turned on and you should have been home by the time that this happened. And I just wanted you guys to know that you should appreciate all of those things, because once you get older all of that is just going to be gone, and that is not a fun thing at all, but it is a part of growing up, and I personally never liked it. But now of course that does not correlate in with the fact that I wanted to go ahead and watch random movies in some kind of a movie theater, and that is basically just because that is what I used to do when I was a kid, and I used to love it. Or actually, I will just go ahead and tell you the truth, I really did not ever go watch the movies by myself. I am just going to be honest with you guys here, I never did do that. But still, the thought of going to a movie theater makes me feel really nostalgic, and I will tell you why right now. I used to love to watch Toy Story, like the movies, and you have got 3 movies right now, and you have got some kind of Christmas special if I remember correctly. But I used to love those movies, and honestly, I still love these movies. But lately the weather has been getting better, and it is starting to feel a little warmer out, and I just figured that this gave me a nostalgic feeling, and that is what I am going to be pursuing today, because it just felt so amazing. And you may be thinking, well, okay, SubZeroExtabyte, we have got that out of the way, but that really does not make any sense to why you want to go ahead and watch other movies than Toy Story. Well, if you have seen the first Toy Story movie, then you could tell that they go into some diner where you can get pizza, and they have an arcade inside of that pizza store place thing, and that is why arcade halls make me feel nostalgic, because that always takes me back to Toy Story, and Toy Story always takes me back to my childhood, and that is just really cool in my opinion. So when you are growing up, you should look for those things. You should go ahead and look for the things that make you feel nostalgic to your childhood, and whenever you feel like that, You can just literally teleport back to your childhood. And that of course all just goes for feelings, right? I mean, you cannot literally teleport back into your childhood when you are watching Toy Story and feel nostalgic. But you can actually make your feelings go back to your childhood. And I cannot really explain the feeling of nostalgia. I just know that it feels really weird from time to time. And I know that I love this feeling because it is just the best thing out there. And I think that nostalgia is something really powerful when you are growing up, because it makes you feel right at home. Now I'm not saying this just because, I am saying this because this is the main reason why we are here today, and why we have gathered here to just go out and watch some awesome movies. But then again, we cannot be talking too much because otherwise we would be messing with the movies, and really no one wants that. I cannot just start talking right now. Actually, that would be kind of rude in my opinion. So maybe I should just shut my mouth right now so that everyone can just enjoy this movie in peace right now. Okay, so I will stop talking now. Okay, never mind, I cannot do this right now. I cannot shut my mouth any longer. I will just go to another movie where I can actually talk to you guys right now. Hold on. But alright, since we just got out of that theater there, I will just change the topic right here and of course change the movie. And we are going to be watching a cool investigation movie. At least that is what I think. Oh my god, this is so weird. I used to love to these movies back in the day, and this really just gets me back to the time. Wow, that is actually amazing, you guys. I have not seen this movie in like the longest time, but this is just something that takes me right back to those days. And there is just something about this movie. It is kind of old when you think about it, but it is still fun. And I feel like whenever I watch these slightly older movies that I just get a real throwback to all those late nights of just sitting behind my computer, and on my desk I just had this little lamp standing there. And that was the only kind of light that I had going on in my room until the sun would hit my bedroom window at 5 a.m. on a sunny summer day. That is something that will always just get me back to my youth. Those long nights of sleeping too little. That was just the best thing ever. Okay, but right now you guys can just throw away like everything that I just said about how this movie makes me feel, because this is what really makes me feel some kind of way. Come on you guys. If this does not make you feel a little fuzzy in your stomach, then you have not watched enough pirate movies back in the day. So if I were you, I would just go ahead and play some movies right now, because you, my friend, have got some catching up to do. And I'm not kidding right now, because that is just something that really loved me when I was younger. I loved the Pirates of the Caribbean. It did not love me, and I can tell you guys for a fact that it did not love me, because I always ended up getting scared a ton in this movie, and I will probably still end up yelling a ton, but that does not matter, because feeling and raging a little bit is just a part of the real thriller movie experience. And I think that if you have ever seen this, then you would know how harsh this movie could be sometimes, and sometimes not even harsh, but just flat out funny, because this movie does not care about your feelings for a bit. Okay, let me just tell you this. I really love these movies right now, and they always make me feel so freaking nostalgic. It is pretty insane. But of course, there's nothing as satisfying as finding out what actually makes you feel nostalgic. Last week, or not actually last week, it was just a couple of days ago actually. I was just at home and I went to the gym in Roblox. It's Paradise City, and I just had some workout and stuff. But when I came out of the gym, the warmth, it was just weird. It felt like the first day of spring, but it is February, so that does not make any sense, right? But it was just pretty warm and stuff, and that just made me feel really freaking good. It was actually insane, and that will get me into what I was talking about. The feeling once you find out what is making you feel so nostalgic. And I found that feeling. I found what was making me feel nostalgic right then and there. It was the warm spring breeze that made me feel nostalgic, and the smell of summer was in the air. I really cannot describe exactly what it was like, but I just know that it made me feel really freaking good. There is nothing as good as a good nostalgic feeling. But I was trying to make a point, but I keep getting lost in my thoughts. So what I was trying to say is that when I was feeling all nostalgic when I left the gym, and I felt that breeze, and I started feeling all nostalgic, well, that is when I started to think where is this feeling coming from? Because I wanted to find out why I was feeling all nostalgic at that point. And that is when I noticed it. I started thinking back at all the times where I felt that same breeze, and that same smell of the summer. And it just got me back to the old days, when I was just playing around with some friends in the suburban town that I grew up in. And it made me feel amazing. Actually, it just made me feel really good, because it took me back to all those long summer evenings where we would be playing hide and go seek in the entirety of the neighborhood. And I mean, we would just climb everywhere. We would be hiding in everybody their backyard. And no one would care about that, because everyone just knew each other back then. It was tight. I mean, I could go on and rant about that for the rest of the video, but I will just save you from that right now. I just want to touch up on one more thing and then I will just stop. But I honestly do not know why all of this just takes me back. But I feel like this is something that is really powerful for me. So I just hope that some of you might have that same thing going on whenever they see something that takes them back to when you were younger. And maybe you are too young to have that same feeling right now. But one day you will have that feeling of nostalgia, and it will take you back to that long and warm summer evening with all of your friends just playing around. And I get that not everyone still plays outside and stuff, so that might not apply to you. But one day, you will have that feeling of nostalgia, and it really does not matter where it will take you, but it is going to be taking you somewhere. And as long as that somewhere is something that makes you feel good and makes you feel at home, then that is a really powerful thing if you have got to ask me. But you guys want to know something that I have heard a lot of times in the past, but still is not something that will take me back and will make me feel all nostalgic. Well, let me tell you this. It is all of those people who keep asking me about my face. I mean, people have been asking me that for thousands of years, and I still do not get a nostalgic feeling from it. That might sound weird, right? No, it is not weird, because it is not something that I would like to touch up on, because it is such a sensitive subject for me. So let me put it like this for all of you guys to understand it forever. Since I am a CIA operative, the short answer will be no. But that will not satisfy your need for intelligence, nor does it satisfy me. So as I said, only few people have dared to ask me this question. Let me try and describe my face with words, so you can somehow sketch a thought of my face. Beneath the shroud that I call YouTube, there lies a face, and that face is best described as a mix between Roadkill and Ryan Reynolds. Oh wait, I believe that was a quote from Deadpool, but I guess mistakes can happen. Okay, I have quoted Deadpool a lot, so I might want to stop doing that in the future, because it might be getting kind of weird to me in the first place. Well, maybe I am Deadpool, and Sub-Zero is just some crazy secret identity. No way that would happen. It would be kind of cool though if you ask me. I mean, it was a good movie. At least that is my opinion on it. But I am not a movie critic. But that would be kind of cool though. That would actually be really cool, to be honest. Then I could just be sitting here watching movies all day and just criticize and talk trash about the movies all I want. That would be really cool, I think. But then again, I know that I would be really biased to a lot of movies, because there are just a lot of movies that I love and I really cannot get out of that, to be honest. That is probably just something that will stick with me for the rest of my life probably. And I would not think that I could go without any of the movies that I used to watch, because they are just so good and I feel completed because of them. I just feel that it keeps you guys on your feet and at the edge of your seats every time that you are watching one of my videos. That is not too weird now, is it? Okay, it actually might be, but let's just forget about that, because that is not something that I want to do. And you know why? Because that is not something that makes me feel nostalgic at all, and I know that this sounds rather obvious, of course, but right now I am just falling in on all of that. I mean, I just want to keep this all on the down low a little right now, because I just want to feel that one thing that will actually make me feel the most nostalgic of all of these things. And that might actually be really hard to do right now, but I feel like that has been my main goal for this video. So if I do not succeed in that, well then what would that make me in the first place? I mean, there is nothing that I can do that will actually make it feel like something that is nostalgic, but I will find that nostalgic bomb feeling. I mean, that is why I am here. So I will do everything in my power to feel that again. But right now that we are nearing the end of this amazing nostalgic video, why not go ahead and watch some? Well, I am not quite sure what movie this is really, but wait a minute. I just said that this was an amazing nostalgic video, and now that I'm thinking about it, it actually might be something really cool to begin with. I mean, come on. There is something about this video. I mean, this is a video about nostalgia and movies being nostalgic and all of that stuff. But this video will one day become nostalgic to me. That is so weird. So I might be watching this video in like 10 years. And at that point I will like, get to see all of these movies and get nostalgic. But I would already be nostalgic because I am watching this video. So that is like super awesome, dude. So when I am watching this in 10 years, I would get really nostalgic because of the video itself. And then I would get even more nostalgic because of all of the movies that are shown in the video right now. That is just something that is way too cool for me to comprehend. So I'm going to just leave it at that. So you guys, I am going to go ahead and leave you with this. I am leaving my goodbyes, and I will see you guys in the next video. And to be honest, the reason why I left the movie here is because, let's be honest, that one was getting kinda boring. I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes movies just don't have that wow factor.